Tom Forbes.
Yes, sir.
We got the Garland, Texas Weitzman Group. How is it that the Weitzman Group doesn't answer their phones?
Oh, they're fucking horrible. They got half the place
Seems-
in, half the whole shopping center is empty. No wonder that it's fucking empty. The guy didn't pick up the phone.
That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, let's
Which
try
number?
Maxwell Johnson. It's the we'll call the company phone and do the extension 6698. We haven't called that one before, so we'll give it a shot.
You got it. Here we go.
You reached the voicemail from Matt Lutke. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Matt, Danny, D'Angelo looking to lease some space here in Garland, Texas, 480-206-6275. Thanks. So it's not the 5838 number. It's this 0600 number, I assume, because I got Matt's voicemail. By the way, straight to voicemail. His phone doesn't ring. You're still muted. I'm doing the 0600. Ha ha ha.
Good morning, Weitzman.
Good morning. Max Johnston, please. 6698.
Okay, hold on just a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please hold while I try to connect you.
This is not an office like it used to be.
Hi, this is Max.
Max, my name's Danny. I'm interested in leasing some space here in Garland, Texas. See your information in the common area. This is a pretty big strip mall on Buckingham Road.
Yeah. Well, at least 2 of the strip centers over there. Was there a particular suite you were interested in?
Absolutely. 1492, there's a laundromat that has been lost in time. That's what I'm interested in. Yeah, I know. This is what I do.
Yeah.
We go out and physically scout these locations as my partner and I are building this empire of laundromats. I don't want to buy the business from the previous operator. I don't want to build them from scratch. So this is our thing.
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to you to see if and when a lease might be available. You know, a lot of these landlords don't want laundromats anymore because they think it's a terrible business. But in this case, I'm after the infrastructure. The guy looks like he lives in there. I mean, he's in there it's kind of sad. But I'm not going to run it that way. If the time comes, we can talk terms.
Yeah. No, it's actually funny you call because we're actually looking for an operator to replace the guy. Like you had said, he's let the operation run down, and we would like to backfill it there with someone who would bring in a quality operation. Now, so like I mentioned, he's month to month, so the landlord's okay with him being there. The caveat is directly adjacent to that laundromat suite is we have 3,000 additional available, and what our landlord ideally would like is for someone to come in, take the existing laundromat, expand into that 3,000, and then take the full 6,000, and then have it that way. We've talked to multiple operators about coming in and just replacing the 3,000 that's there right now, and he's gotten to the point where he would prefer for someone to take that full 6. So I don't know if that's something y'all would be comfortable with doing, or if that's a conversation you and your business partner want to have. Because that's just the kind of the way that the landlord's presenting it for anyone that wants to come in and lease that space at this time.
Even in Texas, there are no 6,000 square foot laundries. And I can first and foremost, you said you've got, I've got two balls in the air now because the landlord certainly wants to combine the space. That's great. We would not be able to bring in enough consumers with a store that big in order for it to make sense. 3,000 square feet is ideal. Second to that, Max, this spot has the infrastructure like I started to explain. If I go building another store next door, which is exactly what that is, I've got environmental impact fees, I've got gas, water, electric, I've got to pull from the city. So for me anyway, ideally, I don't need to talk to my partner about this. I can tell you right now, we are going to come in, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on washers and dryers in this space. This guy's footprint is great. He's month to month. Sad. It is. It's truly sad. All of the stores I've taken over in 20 years had an operator, right? I mean, some of them had closed, but at some point, this guy's troubles are not mine. If he marched into your office the same way that I'm offering and said, I want another 20-year lease, and I'm going to go to the bank and renew this equipment. We've been in there several times. The guy stands in the corner and stares at the television like some kind of savant. It's horrible. But we're going to run a very, very different operation. We don't need 6,000 square feet. And you said other operators, well, I'm not looking to get into a bidding war. The landlord has options. They can remove the laundromat completely, and then they'll have 6,000 square feet empty instead of 3,000, or move forward with us. We're ready to send you a letter of intent today. But the big question is, on a 15-year term, because we need a lot of runway because we're going to be spending the money on equipment. What's your ask? And if you're not crazy, I'm not crazy, and the asking rate is commensurate for a laundromat, then we're still talking.
Yeah, so the landlord's asking anywhere in the teens, depending on how you would like the space delivered. And then it's a triple net lease, and those run to be, I want to say, around 4.25 or so.
Okay. I can't do anything about your triple nets, obviously. I don't see very many gross rates any longer, to be frank. But you say in the teens. Great. We can start at $12, especially since it's $4.25 triple net, and go from there with reasonable increases. I don't want to write an LOI and waste my time or certainly yours if we're not close at 12. The difference is, I don't know what the makeup is of the center, but I have to talk about this. The market rate might be in the teens, and we're awfully close at 12. I need to be at $1 a square foot because of the equipment cost. And that's the road I have to hoe. Next door, maybe there's a dollar store, right? They're looking for a cash register and a bunch of shelves and then product. Okay, that's their business. My business is $500,000 up front and then wait for the consumers to come in and give me quarters. It's a great business if you know how to do it. And don't forget, we're getting a leg up because I'm not buying a business. I'm certainly not going in here and putting all of that infrastructure in place. I don't want to repeat myself, but if we're there at 12, we'll write the thing and ask that. And you said depending. Well, I'm not looking for you to provide equipment, but the hung ceiling is destroyed. It looks like this guy's roof has been leaking. Obviously, he's not coming to you with any issues because he's fearful that will poke the bear, and he'll realize, well, gee, I have to pay the rent. But being month to month, that's not the kind of a tenant that's going to come at you. And I don't assume that you are touring these facilities, but we are going to ask for what is reasonable. New hung ceiling. I don't know what the air conditioning units look like, sometimes these places are even swamp cooled, believe it or not. Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, I'll talk with my landlord, and I know he's been pretty firm on wanting that full 6,000. So I'll mention, that we had the conversation about what you want to do, and then, if there's further interest from there, great. We can write up an offer here for you. If not, I can give you a call back and say, hey, he's really looking for someone to take it for the 6,000. Maybe we can work on a rate that might work there. But yeah, love to try and get creative and see if we can get something done. I just know his expectation of recent has been get that full 6,000 leased, and
Well,
it's been pretty firm after
sure.
4 or
And
5 years.
the difference is, Max, today you got a telephone call from an operator who has 36 locations. And I'm telling you, anyone who comes in and says, you know what? More is more. Let's do a 6,000 square foot store. Okay. They're going to be out of pocket, basically building a laundromat, and that's not my MO. The only reason I'm calling you is because this is a laundromat, and the moment that I start building onto it, I've lost that momentum. Take it.
No,
you might end up with a
100%,
tenant that wants to
100%.
take the 6,000 square feet, but that tenant will likely end up failing, and no one wants that. All right, good. Well, we're not at LOI phase yet. What's your email address? I'll send you an email so you can reach right back out. Perfect. I got it the first time. I will send you a little how do you do, some pictures of my befores and afters in our locations.
Perfect.
And I'll CC my partner, Mr. Forbes. No affiliation with the magazine. Don't get excited. So listen, we're at the infancy of this. However, there's no better operator. I think you get that impression, and you can get this off your plate. I appreciate it. We'll email you, let me know, or you can call me. This is my cell phone number.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Well, I appreciate it, sir. Yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I hear something from my landlord.
Ciao. So we have been calling the phone number for this guy's partner in this office for over 2 months.
Right.
And, I want this to be a lesson, obviously, to the masses. You've got actual landlords who don't seem to give a shit. And then you've got real estate agents who give even less of a shit. And then another guy in the office who perhaps is a go-getter, and sometimes we need to go from Tarzan to Jane. Sometimes we need to figure out who that person is. And so I applaud you for realizing, okay, we've left this guy literally dozens of messages. He doesn't return the calls. When you call his number, it goes straight to voicemail. And I
think he probably blocked you.
Well, why? Why would he block me?
I'm not sure. I've called him a couple of times. He doesn't pick up, but it rings. But, for some reason, when you call, it doesn't ring anymore.
Yeah, it's going straight to voicemail. The only thing, I don't get into those conspiracy theorems of gee whiz, they blocked me. It doesn't make sense. He's a realtor. Yeah. Then I've got folks that own dozens of strip malls, and they answer the landlord themselves, are the ones we deal with. They answer the phone. Hello? Is this a human person? And they're like slugs. When you think, this can't be the right number. Yeah, no, I own that mall, but I don't want to run. I want to do business. All right, so I'm going to email this knucklehead, and at the end of the day, he's giving us great information. The tenant is month to month. This is what a laundromat looks like that is going to fall into someone's hands. Now, when he says the landlord wants to do this thing where he wants a 6,000 square foot laundry, that's adorable. That's a great concept for someone that may not know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly.
And look, you're probably, well, gee, do I want a 6,000 square foot store? Well, why don't people build 6,000 square foot laundromats left, right, and center? Why don't they? Because you don't have enough consumers or parking. Why not a 10,000 square foot store? You know, and you have to flip the switch in your head and realize what we do is take over existing infrastructure. You start getting into building another, that's building another laundry. That's what that is. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, that's why nobody will touch it.
Right. Well, and so I have to do my level best without begging.
Yeah.
Make this guy hang up the phone and go, oh, okay, I'm going to go back to the landlord and say, of the other, because he tells us, oh, we've got other operators interested. Okay, why didn't you move forward with them?
Right.
Oh, yeah, maybe we'll be able to do that thing. So without begging, you're going to hear me say, hey, look, the place needs work. And at first thing he did is laugh. He's like, yeah, the laundromat that time forgot, I think is what I said.
Yeah, right.
Well, there is nothing stopping us from making yet another call. And this is one of the saddest pictures I've seen, by the way. The operator standing there in the corner in the filth and the muck, and like that computer and the television, and he's 3 feet away from it. Just
it's pretty bad.
Looks like and they've got a magazine collection. Yeah, it's not. It's not good.
No.
A couple of chips in the old snack machine there. All right. Next guy is another lovely gentleman. We have left this guy a voicemail. I'm calling the number. Here we go. Stand by. Get you 2 laundromats rolling at once. Now's where you subscribe. Yeah, hey, this is Danny. I'm looking to lease some space from you. I left you a message last week. It's my understanding that this is your building. Thank you. So, Tommy, we got the same thing. It rings, it goes to voicemail, and when you set up your voicemail, you have the option to say, hey, this is Danny. I know nothing about laundromats. Leave a message. I'm the janitor. Beep. This guy says nothing. It's just a little trail of background noise and then the beep. So it is, as they say, what it is. These numbers are saved in my phone. Let me send that email to our friend Max, and sleep well. Find me some more stores.
Everybody, thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Now on to you, louts. Music to my ears when a landlord says those 3 words, month to month. If you have a certain style and you call up a landlord and you start banging your desk demanding information, you'll get nothing. if you call up and explain what it is that you want to do and how you wish to do it, if you have the gift of gab, you're able to communicate with humans, they will normally say, oh, yeah, well, let me tell you what's going on here. I don't need him to open a drawer and pull out the rent rolls and tell me how much this guy is in arrears, but they often do. Let's talk about you. You might be here because you are trying to learn how to better negotiate your deals at work. You might be here because you think I'm entertaining or you like my hair. Thank you. But hopefully you're here because you want to own laundromats. And there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. There are. But I'm telling you, the best way that I've found is this way. This is a live call. You're listening to this, maybe recorded, but live. There's folks on the live. I'll get to the top chat here in a minute, where the landlord says, yeah, he's month to month. We didn't know that. You can't know that. You can walk into a laundromat and see that it's bright, clean, beautiful, smells nice, the air conditioning is rocking, and all of the equipment is brand new with stainless steel. And you might assume that that store is good for the operator. How come all those machines are available? You have to go deeper. Now you go 5 blocks away and you find a decrepit, disgusting, filthy, nasty laundromat with 25-year-old equipment and some poor sap standing in the corner staring at a television for a living. Also no customers. You know what's funny to me? I don't assume that either one of those isn't month to month. Because the first store that you think is great, that everyone says they're making tons of money in there, that guy built the store from scratch, was out $300,000 or $400,000 out of pocket before he bought one washer, one dryer, or one folding table. That guy's some doctor who's got shingles hung all over town, and he did very well in that business, and he just had to scratch that itch of owning a brick and mortar business. So he went out and fell for it. Distributors crawled up his ass and said, oh yeah, let's build you $1 million laundromat. And he did it. $400,000 out of pocket, then another $600,000 in equipment that he's spending double on. Heartbreaking. Now he might start cash flowing, making $35,000, $40,000 a month and try to convince himself that that was a good deal. When's he going to pay off $1.5 million in rented space? He doesn't own anything but equipment that is depreciating. Oofda. I think that's Yiddish. Then there's the second guy who likely bought that laundromat, third or fourth operator down the road, who thought he was going to do well, who may be from another country and is used to working with his hands and says, you know what? I have to have a business in order to make money, and I need to go grind it out every single day. How are they different? In very, very small ways. But in the end, we're going to call the landlord or their rep. We're going to talk about a potential long-term lease. And if you know how to say the words, you'll find the information that you need. I'm not in a hurry to send this guy a letter of intent, nor should you be, ever. We want to get the right deal. He says yes to $12 a square foot, $1 per month. Now I'm going to hit him with TI. They They think they're going to deliver 6,000 square feet without new HVAC? Please. There's going to be another 60,000 on top of that. Go look at my videos. I know there's 1,000 of them. Man, I should have like a course or something where it's all in there. Elijah says, hey, finally caught alive. Currently on the road working. Well, thanks for that. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Yale says, I bought my laundromat, but I'm succeeding with Danny's tips from the course. Okay, good. So since you have a store, you're in for that penny. Why not be in for the pound? Why not spend all of your spare time scouting other stores, Yale? How come you're always on YouTube commenting, but we're not working together? I really want to know that. Brandon, everybody knows that if you have a funny little name on YouTube, that I appreciate knowing your real name. Brandon from Georgia says, been hoping to catch a live this week, finished the silly course last weekend. Okay, we should be on the telephone. You should have my number, Brandon. Just saying. Eventually, objects in the rearview mirror get smaller and smaller, and then they disappear. Changed the blue lights to warm, painted the blue walls white. Oh, God. Monthly budget for Facebook and Google ads, barbecue in summer and coat drives in the winter. Clean the lint pit. Yes, all correct. What those of you that haven't seen the silly course don't understand is Yale is going through some of my basics. What I am teaching and training and mentoring folks in is not just this. This is a small part of it. Once you sign your lease, how do you retool using other people's money? That's pretty big. Once you've retooled, how do you operate? It's all in there. It's fun on my website. I have frequently asked questions, and there's no answers. Walmart's FAQs, when do they open? When do they close? Do they have my underwear? They give you the answer. My FAQs are all of the questions that are answered with the silly course. Brandon, I know you provide hands-on help after negotiation through the life of the lease, but are there videos, documents about how to do the build-outs once we have a lease in hand? No, because you don't need that. It is so simple, Brandon. It is so simple. You're going to replace the existing equipment with the same size or larger. That's all. If you start thinking about what kind of ferns you need or what color the walls should be, you're doing it wrong. How big the tile on the floor should be. Okay, those of you that know, no tile. Concrete, white walls. It's that easy. It's industrial space. When you walk into a laundromat and you have this feeling of dread in the pit of your stomach, it's probably because there's ferns and blue walls. And you figure, I don't need that. Imagine a hospital. They have experts come in and figure out what color the waiting room should be because they're going to tell you that your loved one has passed. We don't need that shit. White. Noah says, 6,000 square foot sounds nice and all, but half of it having no infrastructure and potentially could be used on extra space isn't ideal. Proper punctuation. Thank you, Noah. I think the 3,000 square foot has enough folding space as it is. Yeah, that's a good footprint. Brandon says there are plenty of Facebook groups full of people looking to waste their money purchasing the business rights to a failing business. Absolutely. And it's sad. Back in the day, I used to do what newbies do. I used to sit and look at those Facebook groups and get involved from afar, seeing the folks
Congratulate us. We just bought our first laundromat.
6 months later, the same loving couple is back in that same Facebook group.
Does anyone know a good business broker? We want to sell our laundry.
No idea what they were doing. Why? Why is that? Because these middle class people have never stepped foot in a laundromat. And I'm not saying if you have been doing your laundry every Sunday your entire life in a laundromat that you are better equipped to run them. I'm not saying that. But I'll tell you what, I know what a good pizza tastes like. I think I would be better to go in and critique a pizza joint or walk in and say, it doesn't feel right in here. It doesn't smell right. Why are the tables so low? Why is it so dark? Bar rescue. Taking a giant step back, laundromats are bought and sold to people that don't know anything about the business. And I'm telling you right now, you don't need to buy them. This live call is proof of that. He's month to month. The landlord wants a better operator. And then the landlord, well, the reason that we're keeping this guy in there is because they wanted the whole 6,000 square feet to be a laundry. How long have they had that concept in mind? Now, Max goes to the landlord and says, hey, I got a call from a guy that seems to really know his shit, and he says that 6,000 is not a good thing. Anybody that makes an attempt is probably going to fall on their face. Eric in New Jersey says the course is great, ready to do my third rewatch. Eric! 3 times? Come on. Eric will tell you the kind of person that I am, I don't want to repeat myself. I do it in negotiation. I do it in life. You're starting to regurgitate the same thoughts. It's a waste of energy. And my silly course is not that. Me saying the same thing over and over again, not at all. It's the everything that you need to know. I appreciate that, Eric. Santiago, finally caught you live. I'm here to learn to own several laundromat with your guidance. I bought your course, love it, and will be hitting you up soon, brother. Well, thank you, brother. Let me talk personally for a moment. I'm in a position in life where, look at me. 53. I built an empire. I did real estate. I am well off. My great-grandkids really will never have to work. Be aware of the 20-year-olds that are talking to you about finance and money. Renting a private jet for the weekend and a couple of videographer buddies following them around. What are you going to learn from them? I want my financial planner to be an old man in an office talking to me about the S&P. And when I say, I want to buy 70 ounces of gold this week, he says, well, that's risky. Or a couple of lots on the beach in Mexico. Well, that's scary. I'm on the internet, on YouTube, right now, live in this very moment. Coin laundromats are fantastic businesses. The next webinar we do is going to be all about the monster under the bed, the fear that stops people from doing this thing. I do this because I know the people that will rob you, the distributors that sell equipment for double the value, the bankers that want to charge you 8% when they can do 0%. There's a lot to it, and you're in the right place. A couple of quick questions. If you have them, jump in here. How much after the course for the one-on-one help with negotiating a laundromat lease? Thanks for the advice of not paying for a failing business, which really has no value. That information is within the course. Now let me explain. Happily, my live videos are evergreen, okay? Today, I charge X. That will go up. It will change, of course. That's a good question, but I'm not going to answer that question. It's not because I'm trying to lead you down some primrose path. There's no additional course. There's no third course and fourth course. There's one. We just added to it this week. We're always changing it, making it better. Do you need to pay for my, I mean, if you do a consultation with me, it's never ending. You get my cell phone number. That's it. Unheard of. Silly. No one does that. I do. Because no one's going to take advantage of it. And I don't want to watch the clock. I don't do this for money, kids. I have to charge because, let's face it, I get emails from people. I'm a single mom. I'm this, I'm that. Can you just give me the course? No, because you won't even watch it. It won't have any value if it's given away. Never take business advice, says Adam, from someone who has no proof of how they built their business. Too many people fall for that scam. Yeah. Noah says, I never thought I'd give money to someone online. I hate those fake gurus who sell courses. Spending my money with Danny was the best money I've ever spent. So that says a lot. That means a lot, Noah. I think that goes back to who I am as well, because I'm the same. I would never. I'm too ignorant to throw money at. And that's also why the course is very, very inexpensive. I won't say cheap. That's why the silly course is inexpensive. Because I don't want you to have to worry or scratch your head and say, oh man, let me wait for my next paycheck to take care of this thing. I want you to get all of the information that you need at a very, very reasonable. It's been the same thing for 20 years, same price. This is starting to sound like an infomercial, and I don't want that. If you're joining us late, or you're doing what people do and you're fast forwarding to the end of this video, watch it from the beginning. Listen to the meat and potatoes. When we call cold and speak to a landlord's agent who tells us, yeah, this guy's had it. His business is over. It's likely for sale somewhere. We don't know about that. There's others that are looking for laundromats for sale, and they find them on BuyBizScam, and then they wonder where it is. So they sign an NDA so they can get the address. And then they ring-a-ding the guy that stares at the TV in the corner, and they tell him to vacate. Get out of there. Tear off all the out-of-order signs real quick. Oh, it's a gold mine. You guys know how we do. Let's have a little fun. I'm going to end this in a second. When I do, go into the comments on the video, not here, not in the top chat, something about month to month. Right, something about month to month. Keep your ears on. Sub to the channel. Why would you do that? I'm going to give you a reason. You've already subbed to too many channels about scuba diving, off-grid, cabin building, and whatever horse shit you're doing. sub to this channel because then you won't miss these lives. Everybody always says, oh my God, I caught a live. I don't know when I'm going to go live. I can't be bothered. Not a YouTuber. Go comment later.